So, good afternoon, sir.
Oh, ako pala si Philip.
Good afternoon.
So, let's start off with introduction, sir. So, would you please introduce yourself to our potential audience, sir?
I am attorney Cesar Distrito. I'm a lawyer by profession. Previously, my professional connections or credentials is that I've been a city councilor of Bacolod for last 3 terms in 2010 up to 2019. Previously I became an SK chairman of Singkang Airport, and also I am a presently punong barangay o barangay Singkang Airport. Professionally, aside from being a practicing lawyer, I also teach various graduate school and public administration and law subjects in STI West Negros, in LaSalle, and in Camso. Teaching both in the Masters in Public Ad and in the Doctor in Public Administration. I've been connected to several offices. I've been to City Planning and Development Office as Department Head. Also as the COMELEC Registrar of La Carlota City previously. So, somehow these are my professional and
So, as we have seen that you're quite very was credible for our topic for today, which it would be peace educations. So, as a lawyer, let us talk about promoting human rights and responsive pupils. So, our first question is, what human rights, sir?
Why is it so important to champion human rights, and why is it so important to champion the responsibilities that comes with human rights?
it's basic, no? It's the constitutional protected rights. I, as a lawyer, and at the same time, I am also a professor in the international humanitarian law. Uh, it is always my advocacy to promote respect for human rights. It's the basic law of the land that you have to respect the Constitution. And it is in the Constitution that states that if you can, this is always what I can remember from my professor in the College of Law. He always says that it's better to imprison 100 guilty. I mean, it's better to free 100 guilty persons rather than imprison one innocent person. Now, what does it mean? It means that our Constitution respects the human rights. That it doesn't matter that each and every life is important. Each and every rights of every individual is much more important rather than convicting as many people. It's not about the quantity of how many you convict. It's not about the quantity of how many you put in jail. It's about the issue of you have to respect always the rights of each and every individual. That is why during the time of then President Duterte, I am really against drugs, and I really hate the point of destroying the lives of our young people because of drugs. You know, when you are living in a community where there is it considers a depressed one, you can see really the effects of the illegal drugs among our young people. But I cannot take in my conscience that because of your objective to proliferate, no, at least clean our society from drugs, you have to sacrifice the human rights. Rights of every individual is sacred. So sometimes we're being asked, where does my rights begin and your rights end? When when I talk to my students, I always tell them, it's like about dancing in a dance floor. Once you dance and others are dancing, the moment you can freely dance, you can dance anything you want. How long as long as the disco house is open. But the moment you steps into the shoes of another, that stops your right and the rights of other persons begins. Pag may natapakan ka na, that ends the right. That is how the beauty of enjoying the rights. And going back to what I've said, it is really important that you have to respect the basic human rights. You have to respect the rights of a person against a search and seizure, against illegal arrest, the rights of a person from. That is why when I became a counselor, when I was a counselor, I authored the rights, I authored an ordinance that prescribes the guidelines on how to conduct checkpoint. Hey, there are a lot of people who are not familiar with the guidelines on how you will have to arrest or how to conduct your checkpoint. Sabi nila, when there is a policeman and you are being stopped, then you can the policeman are just free to check your vehicle. No, there is a specific guidelines. That is why I authored an ordinance that when you conduct a checkpoint, there must be a warning. There must be you have to inform them of your rights. It must be visual, meaning you cannot require them to open everything. Visual, meaning open mo lang ang window mo to the extent na makaistoryanay ka mo, check, but you're not allowed to open the compartment. You're not allowed to go out. Gina-specify ko, that is why I authored that ordinance on the guidelines on the conduct of checkpoints of our policemen here within the city. I also authored the Katarungan Paparagay Support Program. It's an ordinance that supports our barangay justice system. So these are the things that I can still remember that I have done as my contribution as a lawyer in the implementation of respecting human rights, justice, laws, respect for rights of others.
So, for a follow-up question, sir. For you, what specific challenges do you see in promoting human rights and responsibilities in today's society of today's world?
That's a very, very timely and a very good question. Because I myself, when I'm about to sleep, I always ask myself, why is it that people love those who are cursing? People love to say, it's better for the criminal to be killed. Because, they have done nothing. They did not contribute to the community. To the development of the community. Or people will vote for those who are championing, quote unquote, immediate action regarding, peace and order. Look at what happened during the time of Duterte. Why is it that people love that guy? It's because people now are maybe, now you have to try to understand, maybe because they once in their life became a victim. Mangawat, hold up, you understand? So somehow, they wanted something from the government, that there should be an action, there should be a leader that somehow will discipline our people. Because Filipinos are considered as undisciplined, violators, do not respect the law. And so, that is why I ask myself, why? They don't know that if they are in the shoes of those persons that will become later on the victim of the government, nobody will have them because we promote it. Like, remember, look at what happened in United States. Trump won. They don't want Trump is one of the purveyor of fake news. Trump is against human rights. He does not respect the rights of women, the rights of the LGBTQ, the rights of the minority, the rights of the colored people. But And I don't understand why the trend right now is people are going towards the direction of going towards authoritarian, dictatorial government. We have Duterte. We have Orban of ng in Europe. We have uh, Putin of Russia. We have Trump of the USA. And Philippines is a baby of the United States. Our role model is always our big brother is always the US. But right now, look at what's happening in the US. That's why my question right now, my questioning to my mind right now is, I don't understand why people now love people who violates human rights. Sa una, when there is a war, it's always a question of David and Goliath. And in the war between Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine is a David, Goliath is the Russia, di ba? But many people, of course, majority are still looking towards sympathetic to Ukraine. But I don't understand why there are so many people who loves Putin, who is a dictator. Was Russia? Diba? It was Putin of Russia who attacked Ukraine first. And people are clapping their hands. And these despotic people, these despotic leaders that we have, China, Xi of China, Kim of North Korea, and Putin of Russia, with the help of his friend Donald Trump, who is incoming again, will be returning as U.S. president. I don't think I don't know where the world is going right now.
It's very insightful, sir. But thank you very much for giving us insight, especially from other countries as well. Isip the Masisapos. So, as that for another balot, sir. Hmm. How can we, as people, ensure that human rights are protected or marginalized groups, as mentioned before, with as pertaining to Trump and the marginalized people of USK? So, how could we ensure that human rights are protected for marginalized groups?
Uh, Even I myself, to be honest, doubtful of how we will be able to go to reconcile the issue of the present directions, the trend, and what is the correct the the truth, the what should be the correct one, the correct action. Because different ang directions, ang trend. Ang gusto sang tao subong diktador. Ang gusto sang tao subong ah, authoritarian government. Ang gusto sang tao subong is they wanted to have an action despite the fact that it disrespects and ginaano niya, gina bypass niya ang due process, which each and every one of us are entitled to. The problem right now is we are so people now are so is not objective anymore. We are subjective. Bali, gusto ta action agad despite the fact that it bypass the due process of the rights of others when you're talking about others. But when it comes to you, kung ikaw na ang mapiktuhan, you wanted yourself na, no, you have to respect the human rights, may due process. Pero pag sa iban, wala ka man. So, hindi na, no, though there's no sympathy, there's no empathy towards that one. Now, how would you be able to do it? My advice for young people like you is, even if nobody is supporting you, even if nobody is looking at you, if you believe that this is what is right, it is what is good for the society, for our country, for the future, just hang in there. Just continue the fight. Just try to fight out. Because as they say, at the end of the tunnel, there is always a light. Thank you very much. So I hope that the young generations and people who have so much hope will not lose that a little hope. Though that hope is a glimmering one.
Sorry. Next. You mentioned before
that you also teach. That's all. So another question is, what role does education play in fostering a culture of human rights and responsibilities?
You know, as they say, and I always a firm believer of learning doesn't stop. Education is a continuing process. That is why, even in my age, as in ko, I am now at the stage of my life na siguro pwede naman ako maka-enjoy. Ba? Why is it that I have to pour out all my emotions? I have to divide my time and continue teaching. Because I always believe that an enlightened citizen will gives us direction in future. Uneducated people will make this nation somehow have a hope that we can be progress, we can be developed, no? So we can have a better society, we have a livable society. Kaya kung if if teachers will stop teaching, or example Filipinos na lang, no, if Filipinos will continue to go to abroad and look for a greener pasture as a teacher and mabilin diri sa aton, or I think there would be a big problem in terms of quality of education. And so that is why my my hope, my dream, matani we have we can have as many teachers, very good teachers, to remain here, continue teaching, and do not lose hope that by educating our citizens, we are helping our country to become a better place to live.